Hello there, everyone. Welcome to True Love. This is a self-love and self-worth workshop with me. I'm Ann Vandewater, and it is my pleasure to be here. I am an internationally certified life coach. I am a long time health and wellness teacher, and I'm a spiritual teacher. And the journey of self-love and raising our self-worth is always at the root of everything that I do as a coach and as a teacher. And so it is really my honor, and I feel incredibly blessed to be here with you all this evening so that together we can collectively create more love and more goodness in the world. So to prepare for this workshop, you're going to need to create a quiet space for yourself. I ask that if you're able to, you turn off your ringer on your phone, and if you're able to, that you also maybe put your notifications on hold for a little bit, just so that you're not distracted by the bling bling of your phone. You'll need a notebook and a pen because we're going to be doing a lot of reflective writing, and you will definitely want to take notes, and you're going to be journaling. Also get a blank piece of paper. And if you don't have a separate blank piece of paper, then it's fine to just pull a piece of paper out of your journal. And then if you have a candle, light a candle. And as you light it, just set your intentions for this time. Keep it real simple. You're here to cultivate more self-love and more self-care. And if you wish, you may smudge yourself with some Palo Santo or some sage. I just realized mine's right over here. I'll be right back. Little sage. And the really cool thing about us all being here together is that if one of us is smudging, if one of us lights a candle, all of us feel it because we're all connected. So on behalf of all of us, I'm lighting this sage and just holding the vision that we clear our fields of stress and tension and heavy energy. Nice. And on behalf of all of us, I'm spritzing some rose water on myself, imagining that you're being spritzed with rose water. Rose has the highest vibrational frequency of all of the flowers and plants, and it helps to open up your heart center, which is where all of your self-love and your self-worth flows from. And also get a crystal or some crystals. I like this one because it glimmers and it shimmers. And the reason that we're using the crystal is because crystals are space holders for us. We can program them. So we're going to program our crystals tonight by having them in our space with all this self-love and self-care, so that whenever we look at our crystals, we remind ourselves how important it is to love ourselves. So I want to tell you the lay of the land in just a moment. But first of all, speaking of the land, I always, whenever I am holding any kind of space, like to acknowledge the first people of the land where I am. And I am currently on our yacht, Varuna, in Channel Islands Harbor in California. in the area where the Chumash people dwelled. And so I'm sending all of my love, all of my honor, all of my respect, and asking for permission to be here every single day and to continue to do my best to honor this place and to honor the land and the sea and the waters and the plants and the animals and the minerals. And as we acknowledge the sacred places where we dwell, then we receive nourishment from these places and we get to give our nourishment back. So first of all, I encourage you to stick around for this whole entire workshop, because at the end I have two very special offers for you. And I like to give special offers to everyone who comes and gives yourself the gift of raising your vibration, as we're going to do tonight. So stick around and you will receive some little love offerings from me. So we're going to begin with a guided meditation. Then we're going to be doing some reflective writing where I ask you some powerful questions and you will have time to write. And I will be asking anyone with each one of these writing prompts, if anyone would like to share what came forth for you when you did your reflections on yourself. And of course, we can't go into deep coaching or deep shares, but we can at least create some connection here so that we all feel like we're getting to know each other a little bit more. And then after we do our reflective writing, I'll be giving you some different practices that you can do to cultivate more self-love and self-care and self-worth in your life. And then we'll be doing a closing meditation. I'll be telling you all about those special offers. And then after, with the big vision that we're going to wrap all that up by about 6:30 p.m. And then I'll stick around and we'll have Q&A time and you can ask me any questions that you have. So for now, I'm keeping you on mute, but when I ask for any shares, then you can unmute yourself. And just so that you know where your unmute button is, it's in your lower left-hand corner and of your screen. And I just ask that after you share that you mute yourself again, just because it keeps the sound quality very crisp. So here we go with our guided meditation to set our intentions and to call in support. So take a comfortable seated position, touch your thumbs and your index fingers together in the hand gesture that represents the harmonious connection of your body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. If you want to stabilize and ground your energy, then face your hands down. But if you want to uplift and expand your energy, then face your hands up. And then gently close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And begin to take some slow and deep and steady breaths, breathing in and out through your nose. And just this act of breathing consciously already is such a beautiful act of self-love and self-care. So breathe in some fresh new energy and exhale stress and tension and heavy energy. And breathe in peacefully and breathe out peacefully. And breathe in some of the cosmic frequencies that are really powerful today. Breathe in some of that new moon and Aquarius energy, some sunshine, some cosmic light from the stars and the planets. And as you exhale, just feel yourself a little lighter and a more expansive and free. And then breathe in some love and some support and some healing energy from the earth beneath you. And as you exhale, just embody this love and this support and this healing energy. And then breathe into your heart center, right at the center of your chest. And imagine that all of that cosmic light, all of that new moon light is flowing into your heart center. All of that healing energy and love from the earth is flowing into your heart center. And then as you exhale, just let your heart center soften, let your shoulders soften. And then breathe into your heart again. And as you exhale, expand love and light throughout your whole inner space. Just expand love for yourself, the light of love. Give yourself that blessing of imagining that this beautiful pale pink heart chakra light is expanding through your whole inner space so that every cell in your body and all of your sensations and every thought that you're thinking and every feeling that you're feeling is just being bathed in this gentle, loving, kind, compassionate light so that you create a safer and a safe space for yourself to just be present with yourself, which at the most foundational level is the root of self-love and self-care. And just bring your hands now over your heart. And just feel your beautiful heart. Maybe just let a very gentle smile come to your lips as you acknowledge the power of your own heart and this amazing electromagnetic field that your heart has. Your heart has the most healing energy in your entire being. Your heart is royal. It is the queen, it is the king of your whole entire operating system. So acknowledging your beautiful heart that's capable of transforming your entire vibration with the energy of self-love and self-worth. And just imagine that this beautiful pale pink light begins to expand out from you all in all directions, activating your Merkaba, your big sphere of love and light that's here to create a safe and sacred space for you and will attract to you everything that you need tonight, all the love, all the care that you need tonight. And now imagine that all of your energy that's dispersed out to the world, just for this first part of our meditation, gather up all your life force energy, bring it back to you, just so you fill up with your own love. And imagine that all these little pink spheres of light and love are lifting up off the world, going up to the new moon in Aquarius for purification. And then the moon opens up and this beautiful shimmering moonlight comes down through the crown of your head and flows into your thoughts, your beliefs, flows into your heart, into your emotional body, flows into your entire physical body and all of your cells. And breathe in and breathe out, just feeling this fresh new energy that you've gathered up. And then reconnect with the earth beneath you, reconnect with the sky above you, and then bring your awareness back to your heart. And from our hearts, we are setting a very clear intention today on new moon in Aquarius, which is such a powerful day for setting intentions and for new beginnings and fresh starts, and what I've been calling the rebirth of self-worth. And we call upon the new moon and Aquarius energies to activate in our heart. New moon in Aquarius is all about loving ourselves and doing all of our own deep, deep inner work so that we can be an amazing light worker on the planet, so that we can work with the collective consciousness, so that we can raise the vibration of humanity. And it begins with us, and then we can expand out from this place of overflow. So our intention is to fill up our own well with so much love tonight for ourselves, so that we then, from a place of overflow, can expand it out. And we're calling upon all of our guides, all of our guardians. We're calling upon the indwelling teacher within our hearts, the most benevolent gods, goddesses, angels, and archangels of our personal understanding, the ascended, illuminated, enlightened masters that are the living embodiment of love. We call upon our truest, deepest, and highest self. We call upon our future self that has raised our vibration to a higher level of self-love and self-worth. We call upon all of nature and the nature spirits, the sky, sun, new moon and Aquarius, the stars, the planets, the earth, land, water, animals, plants, and minerals. We call upon the elementals, earth, water, fire, air, space, light, and the celestial cosmos. We call in the north, south, east, and west, and we call upon all of our chakras, all of our energy centers to clear, cleanse, open, balance, blossom, harmonize, and energize. And we are so incredibly grateful for all of the love in the seen and the unseen, in the known and the unknown realms. We're so grateful that we have so much love and support to love ourselves more and to support ourselves more. And we're cultivating the deepest levels of faith and trust that this is all unfolding in the divine right time and in the divine right way. So I invite you to join me if it feels right, to bring your hands together in prayer position, and we'll chant one round of the sound Yam, which is the mantra for the heart chakra. And just imagine this beautiful emerald green light and pale pink light emanating forth in vibrational waves as you chant Yam one time. Take a deep breath in. Yam. Then touch your thumbs to your third eye center, and we call upon our highest self and our highest destiny of self-love and self-worth. Touch your thumbs to your heart center. We call upon the indwelling teacher in our hearts that is going to lead us and guide us and direct us and show us the way into deeper self-love and self-worth. And then bring your hands to your legs and just remember that you are the living embodiment of love. It is your true nature. So slowly breathe in and slowly breathe out. And so be it, and so it is. And gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me in meditation. So I'm going to talk about the hard stuff now, the challenging stuff, because there's a tendency, and you can tell I'm like super effervescent and lit up about self-love and self-worth. But self-love and self-worth in many ways is the result of doing deep, deep inner, what can be called shadow work, when we deal with some of the more challenging energetics that are inside of us. And we all have this inside of us. It's just part of being a human being. So when it comes to the shadow frequencies of low self-love and low self-worth, this is also what I call not true self energy. It's not who you truly are. And these patterns, which are ways of believing, ways of thinking, ways of feeling, ways of speaking, ways of acting, ways of relating, from a place of low self-love or low self-worth oftentimes comes from our early childhood, when we were in the presence of people who were modeling low self-love or low self-worth to us. And it's usually primary caregivers. And the thing about it is that when we're kids, we oftentimes emulate our primary caregivers because we think that that's how we're going to be loved. And we think that that's how we're going to be accepted and then have all of our needs met. And so we might start to emulate some behaviors that our primary caregivers are embodying, because we're like, oh, that's how you, if you're an elder or you're somebody who cares, or you are somebody who loves, and that's the way that you're acting, then, oh, that's the way that I should act too. Or that's the way that I should think, or that's the way that I should speak. And so that's one level of taking on not true self energy. The other thing is that oftentimes, if our primary caregivers, and those could also be teachers, they could be anybody who is who's older than us. It could even be a older brother or sister. If they have low self-worth, or if they have low self-love, then oftentimes they behave in very unloving ways. And they might say really unloving things or do really unloving things. And then that can make a young child feel like, I'm not lovable or I'm not worthy. And so this is the first thing, to just take a minute to reflect on this and start writing about, where did it come from for you? Where was it modeled? Where did you pick that up from? And just continue to take slow and deep and steady breaths, because it's deep work, and it's not coming from a place of blame. It's just coming from a place of getting real and authentic with yourself. So for instance, if you had a parent who abused alcohol, and then you end up abusing alcohol, or you end up being with somebody who abuses alcohol, then that is one of the ways that you might have picked up some of the patterning from that primary caregiver, because they weren't loving themselves. Or if they said, you're no damn good, or whatever, then you might have taken that on. That might have had a deep imprint on you. So let's just take another 15 seconds now. And of course, this is an ongoing exploration for the rest of our lives. The work never ends, and there are always little things that might percolate, but just to take a few notes on, where did the shadow frequencies of low self-love and low self-worth come from? And then let's just put your notebook down for a moment and close your eyes, and we're going to do a clearing practice. And remember, you can come back to this. Just close your eyes for a moment. And whatever was the most powerful recollection or memory for you, see that person right out in front of you. And you can put them way, way out at a distance if it does not feel safe for you to be close to them. But you can imagine you have all these boundary shields around you, and just for your own safety and well-being, you can imagine that they're way, way out if need be. Take good care of yourself. And gently begin to just tap on your heart center, because this might be jostling some emotions right now. And this tapping, this emotional freedom technique will help you to clear some of the heavy energy. And just repeat after me. I recognize that I took on some low self-love and low self-worth ways of being by what you modeled for me and or how you treated me. And even though I went through this big challenge, I love myself. I appreciate myself. And I know that I am worthy of love. So I now choose and claim for myself that with great universal love and compassion, I am giving these patterns to the earth for composting and recycling. And just put your hands over your heart and imagine you're literally pulling the low self-love, the low self-worth patterns, and then just go gluck and imagine you're dropping it to the earth. And then put your hands over your heart and breathe in and breathe out. And then just repeat after me. The low self-love and the low self-worth patterns that I just released to the earth are for compost. They are here to motivate me every day to cultivate more self-love and more self-worth. And then just put your hands down towards the earth and imagine that you're sending love to that energy that you just released. Because when we can acknowledge our shadow, when we can be with it rather than repressing it or reacting to it, we can actually transform it into something that becomes a gift. It motivates us to cultivate something inside of ourselves that we wouldn't be able to cultivate. And then bring your hands back to your heart and just say, I love myself. I'm worthy of loving myself. And breathe in and breathe out. Just say, just take a big clearing exhale. And so the next thing that we're going to talk about when it comes to self-love and self-worth is more of a gift frequency or your higher potential with self-love and self-worth, which you have inside of you. All of these are just frequencies, and part of self-love and part of self-worth is being a conscientious chooser, that's a tongue twister, of the frequencies that we empower. So we're going to empower your higher potential right now. So this is the great news. Even though you may have had role models for low self-love and low self-worth, you've also had some awesome role models for self-worth and for self-love. So take a moment now and begin to journal about who those people are. They become kind of like your self-love and self-worth avatars. These can be teachers, they can be friends, they can be your partner. It could be someone who's famous. It could be somebody who's no longer alive but lived in the past. But you have some role models of people who have demonstrated and embodied self-love and self-worth, and also people who told you how awesome you are. I wrote a song after the Montecito mudslides to keep us all kind of motivated, and it goes, "You are awesome and amazing, awesome and amazing." And we all need that. We need people that are cheerleaders, that see who we are and who love us and who support us. And that might have been your primary caregivers, right? Or it could have been grandparents, aunts, uncles. Yeah. So let's pause now, and we're going to tell them. We're going to tell them right now how much we love them and how much we appreciate them. So just put your hands over your heart and look at your list and just begin to tell them out loud. Just say, "I'm so grateful for you. You modeled self-love for me. You modeled self-care for me. You modeled self-worth for me in the way that you treat yourself. And you helped to nurture self-love and self-worth in me by telling me that you love me, and by telling me that you support me, and by telling me that you care about me." And just speak it out loud and just notice what happens to your vibration. Nice. Beautiful. So take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Wonderful. So a follow-up homework assignment for you is, if any of those people are still alive and they're still with us and you can contact them, maybe on Valentine's Day. I'm getting teary thinking about that. It's so incredibly important to tell people how much you love them. And a lot of times we think like, they know that I love them, but you can never say, I love you enough. Every single day, my boyfriend says to me, "Did I tell you today how much I love you?" And that's what Valentine's Day is about. And that's the beautiful thing about, God, I've been crying a lot this new moon and today. I'm crying through all my sessions with my clients. It's all the self-love work. And so if you find yourself crying, if you find yourself feeling really sensitive as we go through all of this, just let it come. Let tears come, because it's very cleansing. So reach out to those people and just say, "Thank you for modeling this. Thank you for encouraging me." And breathe in and breathe out. Nice. So now we're going to talk about the more that you focus on acknowledging the people that have modeled self-love and self-care for you, the more that you match that vibration, the more that you use those higher frequencies, your higher potential, to be present with the parts of you that maybe are experiencing the lower self love or the lower self worth. Moment by moment, day by day, you start to accumulate the really big superpowers of true self mastery. So the shadow frequencies are where you've taken on not self energy. Those higher gift frequencies of when you're in the presence of people where there's high self worth, that's where you start to connect with your true self energy. And the more that you cultivate self love and self care every single day, to be present with the parts of you that maybe aren't feeling it, then you develop true self mastery, which is this deep, abiding sense of love for yourself and honor for yourself and care for yourself and self worth. So, what for you in your life is the ultimate expression of loving and caring for yourself that you want to empower for yourself? So, you know, I have to do this work in order to do it with you. I do this all day long with myself. And as some of you might have seen, I've been doing a lot of videos and a lot of writing over the last few days about self-love and self-worth. And last night, and I'm like a really good sleeper, but last night at about 4 o'clock in the morning, I awoke from a dream, and my guides and my higher self and my own heart was saying, here's where you can up your own self-love and your own self-care. And they were giving me some, I am a opulent minimalist. So I'm really good at taking really good care of myself, but then I also have what I call my wild pony days. And during COVID, my wild pony days where I maybe eat a little bit more or drink a little bit more alcohol has been a little bit higher than usual. And my guides were telling me, you need to shift that a little bit now and balance it back out to where you usually are at the higher level of self-love and self-care. So that's what I'm empowering myself to do. So what is it for you? Just write down that one like superpower. And what I notice for myself is when my eating is really super clean, everything else just feels phenomenal for me. And I feel like it's the greatest way that I can love and care for myself. So write down, what's the one big thing that you just know, ooh, I need to shift that a little bit. That's something that you want to empower inside of yourself. And now to put it all together with the download that I got last night is that was modeled for me as a child in a few different ways. Lower self-love, lower self-worth was modeled to me by some primary caregivers that would use sugar, wheat, meat, dairy, alcohol, caffeine as like an emotional buffer. And so that was something that I learned, and it's something that I still have to be. It's one of my weak links. It's one of my greatest strengths as well. I teach about it all the time, but it's something that I need to continuously work on. And we all have those things. So then I have people, so many mentors that have taught me about how to process emotions without buffering, right? So those are my role models. And then for me to actually activate that superpower, I have to embody it. I have to constantly embody that action of loving and caring for myself by keeping my food as clean as possible. And I still will always be a wild pony, but I don't have to be quite on such a romp. So review all of that for yourself for a moment right now and just connect the dots for yourself, because there is a connection to all of it. And I'm wondering if anybody feels inspired to share about some of the ahas or epiphanies that you might have just had as you went through that process. And you can just unmute yourself by pushing the lower left-hand button if you feel called to share. And if you want to keep it in your own heart, then that's okay as well. Yeah.
Are you calling on me? Can you hear me?
Sunny, is that you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes.
Can you hear me? So I had a really good experience when I was quitting smoking, which was a terrible shame, but I know the origin of that and how that came to be. And that was 40 years ago. I kicked that one.
Awesome.
But a therapist brought me back to childhood issues and had me take my left hand and touch my left hand with my right hand. And he asked me to take all the emotion of what I was reviewing about childhood and put it into my left hand. He had me put my hands back in my lap. And then he had me describe to him my life right now at the time. Competent mother, capable woman, creating a business, so on and so forth. And he had me infuse that into my right hand.
Oh,
And this was such an effective thing. And it meant nothing to me. I was just doing what I was told. And then with whatever words, then he said, now I want you to take your left hand into the loving, strong, capable care of your right hand. And now tell me if you want a cigarette. And I just wept. It was like, no, of course I don't. She wanted this.
wow.
She needed this. And I, of course, grew into that, but I never put them together. And literally he had me put them together. And I can do the same thing now with my buffer, which is my diet and sweets, chocolate and yeah.
So awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that and for that profound teaching that you just shared with all of us. That is so incredibly valuable. Thank you. I love you and I support you. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're going to move on into some very specific ways that every day you can love yourself and you can raise your self-worth. And we're going to begin with what Sunny just shared about and what I just shared about, and that's nutrition. So take a moment to write about what the most loving way of eating is for you. Because there's a great saying, all know the path, but few walk it. And I know you know, and that's so much of what my work is about, is empowering you. But I'm going to give you some examples. For some, it might be being a vegetarian, being vegan, plant-based. For some people, it might be eating within a 6 to 8 hour window every day. For some people, it might be omitting something like sugar or wheat or alcohol or caffeine or dairy. So just write down a few little notes for yourself. And now the next amazing way that you can love and care for yourself and raise your self-worth every day is through movement, through exercise. So begin to write down what you know really works for you. Maybe it's taking a walk, maybe it's swimming, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's high intensity interval training or getting on the elliptical trainer. What is it for you that when you do that, or dance, right? It could be dance, Tai Chi, Qigong. What is it for you when you're like, oh my gosh, when I do that kind of movement, I know that I'm loving myself. And now the next thing is breath work. So breathing. Actually, let's go back for a second to movement, because I'm not going to say, hey, eat a celery stick right now, but we can do a little bit of movement. So let's do a little bit of shaking. So just start going like this, shaking, just wiggling around, just shake, shake, shaking. It's pretty simple, right? You can do it anywhere. You can do it anytime. I always think of Steve Martin. I'm a wild and crazy guy. Remember that skit? Good. And then stop. And do you feel that shift that just happened? That was like 30 seconds of shaking. That raises your vibration. You can feel it. It's kind of like some effervescence. So, breath work. Several times today, I've said, take some slow, deep, steady breaths. What is the breath work that you have ever done? Or is it just taking some slow, deep, steady breaths for you? But how is your relationship to conscious breathing? Like right now, I can talk, and we're blessed that something loves us so much that it breathes for us. We don't have to tell ourselves to breathe in and breathe out. But the act of conscious breathing is a really powerful way to shift your vibration. And then the next is meditation. So do you have a meditation practice? Is there anything that you do on a daily basis or at any time in your life where you take time to be still or quiet, or even if it's, I'm going to fold laundry, but I'm going to do it in a meditative way where you become 100% present with what you're doing. And of course, the more typical ways of meditating is sitting silent, but then there's so many other different ways to meditate. So for you, what's one way that you like to meditate? The next self-love and self-worth practice is mindset and emotional management. So if our thoughts and our beliefs and our emotions go untamed, then we can end up having a lot of mental, emotional stress and anxiety and upset. So what is something that you do that helps you with your own mental and emotional health and well-being? Even just saying, tapping and saying, tuning in and going, oh, I feel really stressed right now. But even though I feel stressed, I love and I care for myself, right? Even just that is some acknowledgement of what you're going through, and then doing some management by creating a safe sacred space for yourself to feel all your feelings and be present with your thoughts. And now the next self-worth practice is physical cleansing. So what's one thing that you can do for your own physical cleansing? This could be something as simple as bathing, taking a shower, but it could be something more luxurious, like taking an Epsom salt bath, or making it even more luxurious by putting some rose petals in there. But it could also be having a glass of water, right? There are many different ways that you can physically cleanse yourself as an act of self-love. And the next self-love practice is affirmation and prayer. So what is one of your affirmations? Or what is one of your prayers that you, when you do it, when you practice it, you feel like, oh, I feel like I'm really loving and caring for myself. So just saying, I love myself, that is an affirmation, right? And a prayer could be, I call upon the most loving part of myself to lead me and guide me and direct me and protect me today. It can be so simple and yet so profound. And then rest, relaxation, and sleeping are incredibly important self-love and self-care and self-worth practices. So resting is where you just are, you're just stopping. You're just completely stopping. Like maybe just taking a little shavasana, maybe just a little nap, just where you completely stop and you completely rest to give yourself a little break. What are your favorite ways to relax? There's so many awesome ways to relax. It could be just sitting and reading a book, sitting and having a cup of tea while listening to classical music, having a talk with a friend. What is one of your favorite ways to relax as a way to love yourself more? And then lastly, sleeping. Do you love yourself by getting enough sleep? Do you love yourself enough by going to bed at a time that you know is optimal for you to go to bed? Do you love yourself by having a place that feels comfortable for you to sleep? So I'd love to open it up to a couple of shares, if you wish, about a few of the things that you're like, yes, if I did this more often for myself, I just know that I would feel more love for myself. Anyone want to share? You can just push the little button on your lower left-hand corner to unmute yourself.
Hi, Anne. I'll share.
Wonderful.
I
Thank
did one today that's just really difficult for me. I know how to do it, and yet I have a hard time giving permission to myself or time in my day to do that. And that's just simply doing like 10 sun salutations, or just doing just some movements. And maybe I'll tell myself, no, I need to go do this, or no, I need to do that. Or it also just creates, because it's not a rhythm or a pattern, it actually creates confusion, because it's like I'm used to working straight ahead, and then it creates this like new pattern that's disruptive in some ways, because it gets my emotions and my brains thinking in a circular way instead of a direct way. But like today I did it and I did like 4 sun salutations, right? And I'm like, really, is 4 enough? I mean, I'm telling myself I'm going to stop now and not do the 10. So I said, well, no, I'm going to do the 10, and I did it. And, you know, and it took a lot more time of my day, and it's not in my rhythm, but, you know, I feel like once I do it enough times, then it will create the rhythm and I'll flow with it.
Yes, that's it. And thank you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you that you did your 10 sun salutations. That's a huge gift you gave yourself. And you mentioned something which is so incredibly important, which is this enough? And there are going to be some days where your answer is going to be no, I need to love myself more by doing more sun salutations, or by sleeping longer, right? Or by taking a longer shower, whatever it is. And then there will be other days where you will say, that's enough. And that's okay too. And that's part of self-love also. And so there's a very important mantra that I want you to write down. And that is, I am enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's great to just tune into ourselves and ask ourselves, so that it wasn't like a clear directive, like I have to do this or need to. It was really a question, and then to hear and decide doing that. Yes.
Yes, and that's it. And self-love and self-care is literally a moment by moment, day by day. There's no, I have to do it the same way every single day. And ultimately, it's just your own conscience, and it's just you knowing moment by moment what you need. You know, like parents, like you're a parent, and I have so many parents that I know say, gosh, I wish when I had my newborn that I had a crystal ball and I knew exactly what was going on so I could give the exact care that was needed. Well, that's what we get to do with ourselves now. So I call self-love and self-care reparenting ourselves. We are giving ourselves the parenting that we needed. And then it's a double entendre because the word repair is in there. So then we're repairing ourselves, we're healing ourselves, we're restoring ourselves. And there's no cookie cutter formula for it. All we can do is, just like Sunny was saying, is wrap our arms around ourselves every single day and give ourselves the best care and the best love that we can. And it's that when we do that moment by moment, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, is that the superpower of high self-worth and self-love is cultivated. Yeah, beautiful. Would anyone else like to share one more thing? Yes, Marcella.
Yes, I'm excited about this.
Yay.
I bought this necklace. It's garnet and is blue topaz, and it's here for the reason of releasing some blockage here, particularly. So I am learning how to express my feelings. First of all, connect to my feelings, give myself the time to connect, understand what's going on with me, and express my feelings to others. Also feeling worth of expressing my needs or my thoughts, and allowing others to hear me and hold me or hold my space, which I'm not used to receive. So it's very hard for me, and I'm it may sound strange maybe for a lot of you, but it's incredible what I'm finding so hard to do these things for myself because I'm used to do it for other people.
Yep, that's right. And that's why all of you are here. You're all amazing caregivers. You're all light workers. You're all change makers. You're all leaders and visionaries and teachers, and you're here to make a positive difference on the planet. And the reason that I created my whole entire life coaching practice is for you, because I'm just like you. We all tend to put the cart before the horse, which is we give to everybody, and then we're depleted and overwhelmed and exhausted and feeling like bleh, and why am I even doing this, and is it even worth it if I feel so awful? And so that's where the self-love and the self-worth comes in, so that you give to yourself every single day so that you feel nourished. And then from that place, you can actually give from a place that's truly healthy and that's also sustainable. And so I like this figure 8 symbol of I give to myself, and then I give to others, and I give to myself, and I give to others. And it keeps going on and on and on. And if this side of giving to others gets too big, then and this gets too little, then that eventually is not going to be I-me or reciprocity. And then the whole thing will implode. Been there, done that. And so that's why I am extremely motivated to share all of this with you, because we really need people on the planet right now to be working the light and bringing all of our love to the planet. So I'm just honored to be here with you all, and that you all are taking the time to love yourself more. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to do a short closing meditation. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of homework to help you maintain the turning point, so that this wasn't just another groovy workshop you did. And then I'm going to tell you about some special offers, and then we'll have a little bit of Q&A. And if you have to go, then I understand, but if you can stick around, that would be great. So let's close our eyes. And again, just bring your hands over your heart and take a deep breath in. And a slow breath out. And just feel the sanctuary of your heart. Feel the vibration of your heart. And just feel that the energy of your heart has expanded because of all of the deep self-love and self-care that you've done this evening. You've raised the vibration of your self-worth. So send yourself a lot of love and a lot of acknowledgement, and just celebrate the fact that you carved out this time this evening to give yourself this gift. And feel how that raises the vibration of your self-worth even more. And send love to the part of you that may be still challenged by loving yourself. And send compassion to that part of you. And just know you're on your journey. And send some universal love to those primary caregivers or people that modeled low self-love or low self-worth. And when I say universal, I just mean we're all doing the best we can at the level of consciousness that we're at. Because if you can send just a little universal love to them, it will lighten your own load of what you're carrying. It's a loving act for yourself. And send that love and appreciation to those amazing people who've loved and supported you, encouraged you, modeled self-love and self-care and self-worth for you. And send love and appreciation to all of these different practices that you can do every single day to cultivate more self-love and more self-care. Eating the way that feels best for you, moving the way that feels best for you, breathing, meditating, being with your emotions and your thoughts in a more loving way, physical cleansing, rest, relaxation, sleeping. Just send them your love and your gratitude. And now, from this place where you filled your cup up a bit, just focus on one area of your life where you want to be of service. What's the number one thing where you're like, if I care more for myself, then I'm going to be able to be of greater service. I'm going to be able to flow more love to this person or this place or this thing. And just send some love out to them. And breathe in and breathe out. And we just give so much thanks for the seen and the unseen love and support that's always with us. And send your love and your appreciation out to everyone who is here. And we also expand love and appreciation out to all the people who couldn't be here. Lots of people wanted to be here, but they couldn't be here. So we love you and we support you. And we're holding you in this space with us. And then just send some deep, deep love to your inner teacher, the one that's always here leading you, guiding you, directing you, and protecting you in your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions, and all of your relationships with all people, places, and things as you embody more self-love and raise your self-worth. And in closing, sending out the intention on this powerful new moon that we're going to love ourselves more, and then from this place of loving ourselves, be able to expand more love in the world. I invite you to join me in chanting one round of the ancient sound Ah, and Ah is the sound of new beginnings and manifestation and creation. So bring your hands to prayer position and take a deep breath in. And I bow to you and I deeply honor who you are. In truth, you are love. And when you remember who you are, when I remember who I am, we remember that we are one. And gently open your eyes. Namaste. So good to be here with you all. So beautiful. Okay, so maintaining the turning point is a very important part of all of this. So this is your homework assignment, your life work assignment, your self-love assignment. First of all, is to review all of your notes, and then on that separate piece of paper to write down a little schedule for yourself, okay, starting tomorrow or tonight. Well, you already did something, major self-love right here, but starting tomorrow for a week, write down one thing that you can do for yourself that's loving. So it might be, I'm going to do 10 sun salutations on Friday. On Saturday, it might be, I'm going to go for a walk with a friend. On Sunday, it might be, I'm going to take a nap. Yeah. but just schedule it and put that piece of paper and then write down, I'm going to do all of this for myself because I love myself. And then if need be, put it in your calendar so you don't forget. But I would say just keep that somewhere close by. And then your other life work assignment is to reach out on Valentine's Day to at least one of the people that you wrote down who's modeled self-love and self-worth for you, and thank them and tell them you love them. And then lastly is to every day tell yourself that you love yourself. It's a great way to start the day. Just hands over your heart to say, I love myself. Very simple. Just that one simple thing can really shift everything. Beautiful. So I'm going to tell you about two very special offers that I have for you, and then I'll open it up for a little Q&A. So one of my very first offerings it was actually the first group offering that I ever did as a life coach, is called Vibration Transformation. And it is an 8-week course that I'm going to be doing live on Zoom. And it's all about transforming your vibration by loving yourself more. The thing is one night we did just over an hour of practicing self-love. That's awesome. But embodying self-love requires some time and some devotion. And so right now, our self-love and our self-care and our physical, mental, emotional, soul, spiritual health and immunity is more important than ever on the planet, as we know, because there are some things that are happening on the planet that we've never dealt with before. Like there is something that physically can be very challenging, mentally, emotionally challenging. We don't even have to name all the things. We know all the things, but it requires more self-mastery and more self-love right now. And so during this 8-week live course, you're going to be learning really practical, down-to-earth skills and practices to be able to transform the vibration of your body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. And every week we're going to be focusing on one of those different things that we just reviewed. So week 1 is all about nutrition. Week 2 is all about movement. Week 3, all about breath work. Week 4, meditation. Week 5, mental and emotional management. Week 6, physical cleansing. Week 7, affirmations and prayer. And week 8, rest, relaxation, and sleeping. And then at the end of week 8 and beyond, we'll have a celebration, and then you'll learn how to maintain everything. So rather than all of a sudden you have to practice all of these self-love practices, we're going to do this very slow buildup where week 1, we're just focusing on the nutrition. Then we're adding in a little bit more. Then we'll add in a little bit more. And by the end of the 8 weeks, you will have jump-started your own self-love and your self-care program, but you will also have stabilized it. And then you will have these practices for the rest of your life. And if you go a little out of alignment, like me being a tiny bit of a wild pony, you can go, I know how to come back into alignment with my self-love and my self-care. And in this way, you will slowly cultivate being the living embodiment of your highest potential and activating those superpowers of self-worth. So this is the foundational work that I do. When I do one-on-one coaching, I take people through what I call the authenticity activation, where I help you get clear about your purpose, values, message, and your big vision for your life. And some of you here were in that workshop a couple of weeks ago. And then the next thing that I do is I help my one-on-one clients to create their foundational self-love and self-care practices, because you need these practices in order to continuously clear, cleanse, release, and let go of stress, tension, heavy energy, stay connected to your truest and deepest and highest self, and generate that healing, restorative energy. And also, these practices give you the energy to be able to create and manifest all of your visions, including being of the greatest service possible on the planet. So this is the baseline work that I do for everybody. So vibration transformation is really great if you're experiencing any kind of addiction to, or you're using any type of alcohol or food or sugar, wheat, you know, those type of things to buffer your emotions. It's great if you're a little overweight and you want to get into better shape. It's great if you're feeling out of shape. If you're feeling exhausted and overwhelmed, or you're just feeling kind of like bleh or depleted, it's great if you're feeling toxic. It's really good if you're holding on to emotional grudges, hurts, sadness, resentments, upsets from anything that you've gone through in your life. It's great for you if you're thinking or feeling or speaking or acting like, ugh, ooh, I don't want to be showing up that way, if you feel that way about yourself. And if you're feeling physical, mental, emotional stress and tension. And if you want to feel more alive, more awake, and like you're super glowing with life force energy, you want to feel youthful and healthy and revitalized, you want to feel calm and confident and present, you want to feel more loving and compassionate and connected, you want to feel more clean and clear and energized and centered and super focused and renewed and refreshed and revitalized, then vibration transformation is awesome. That's everything that we do in it. And I have so many testimonials from amazing people who have participated in it, but I wanted to read this one because it's so powerful. This is from Samantha Page. Her testimonial about this work is, despite the fact that I appeared to be successful in life, I suffered from debilitating panic attacks, chronic migraines, and cancer. My relationships were suffering too, and I was often quite miserable. And vibration transformation helped me change my life. And I learned tools and practices that help me to show up every day in ways that reflect my heart, my life purpose, and my values. And I'm truly happier and healthier than ever. And she's now become one of my avatars for this work. I mean, when we first started working together, even if she would work out, she would be in incredible pain. And now she's like the superhuman of the universe. She's just absolutely amazing. And it's because she has applied all of these principles and embodied them, and her life radically transformed. So we are going to be meeting for 8 weeks, and this starts in 19 days on March 3rd, which is a Wednesday. And we'll be meeting from 5 to 6 p.m. on 9 consecutive Wednesdays, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in each live session, we'll be doing a guided meditation. There will be teachings and guidance about each one of the lifestyle practices. I will be giving you visioning and planning PDF workshops, and there will be a Q&A time. And then I'll be sending you out a video of the session, so you'll have that. And I'll be giving you a special MP3 guided meditation each week that you will be listening to that will help you to get into the groove of the practices. You'll also be working with your visioning and your planning PDF worksheet. And you'll also have an accountability partner that you check in with each week about all of the different practices. You'll also be receiving the vibration transformation daily practice video that you can practice. That includes, it's a 40-minute session and it has a guided meditation, emotional cleansing practices, breath work, yin and flow yoga, and a deep relaxation. You will also have our own vibration transformation Facebook group, and you're going to have access to all of the materials for 6 months. So you'll be able to continue to practice all of the practices. And you'll also have access to one-on-one coaching sessions with me at 10% off. And then anyone who shows up every week will receive a special bonus of a 7-day journey through the chakras, elements, and planets ebook. Because each day of the week corresponds to a different element, chakra, and planet, which is really cool. So it's either 2 payments of $299, and you pay 1 payment up front, and then you pay the second payment of $299 30 days later, or it's 1 payment of $499. So you save $100 if you pay for it up front. And for all of you, only people who are watching this video or are here personally with me, you will get a 30-minute complimentary coaching session during vibration transformation. So those of you that are here, if you sign up, let me restate that. I didn't say that correctly. Those of you who are here in person have the opportunity, if you sign up for this in the next 3 days, which is by the end of the day on Valentine's Day, then I will give you a free 30-minute complimentary coaching session to help you design the programs that feel right for you in vibration transformation. And this is a $125 value. So I'm gonna add this link. Where'd my link go? There it is. Into the chat box so that you have this. Choo-choo-ch. And it will give you all of the information about it. There it is. And then my other special offer is 10% off of my True Self Mastery readings, which are a blend of human design, the gene keys, and the north nodes of astrology. And so I'm going to give you this is only for people that are live here right now. This is a special code that you can follow to get your 10% off your True Self Mastery reading. And yay, bye, Bryn, love you. Have a great night. So those are the special offers. So you can reach out to me if you have any questions, and then I'm going to stay on here for a little bit longer for anyone who has any questions for me. So you can just unmute yourself if you have any questions. And if you have to go, then I love you, and it was amazing to be with you. And thank you for being here. Such a pleasure. And I'm also going to wrap it up here.